You've aced your interview, survived orientation, and finally landed your dream job in consulting. Now you're working on your first project and you're like, what did I get myself into? Trust me, I've been there. I'm a consulting manager at one of the big fours, and after 4 years in the trenches, I'm here to share some key insights to not only help you survive, but thrive in consulting. There's actually a lot of grounds to cover, so we're gonna break this into two parts. Part one, which is this video, we're gonna be focused on mindset and lifestyle adjustments to help you succeed. Part two, we're going to focus on more advanced skill sets like how do you manage your boundaries, how do you manage up, and some efficiency hacks to help you save time. So I joined consulting after working at a financial services firm as a project manager. And lucky for me, I had the opportunity to work with Deloitte and MBB on a lot of internal transformation projects. So I kind of had a sneak peek into what a day in the life of a consultant was like. But having that view from a client perspective versus actually being a consultant is very different. So during my first 3 months, people had to coach me quite a bit. And that brings me to my very first point why having a positive and humble mindset is really important. Because I know you're really smart, but I hate to tell you this, you're kind of a liability on the team.
What?
Don't be mad at me for saying that. Look, I know you landed a consulting job. Congratulations, and it's really an accomplishment. And I know you're really smart, but it's going to take you some time to kind of ease into the consultant role. And a lot of your first 6 months experience is going to be receiving feedback and learning. When I started in consulting, it was during the peak of COVID. So I was actually staffed with a very lean team, and I had the opportunity to work directly with a senior partner who's been in the industry for over 30 years. So this guy is super smart and knowledgeable. I would often struggle to keep him interested during calls because I just didn't really have anything to say that he didn't already know. At some point during the project, I got the feedback that I needed to work on my conceptual thinking.
What?
To me, at the time, this was a pretty big deal because I think one of the fundamental skill sets to make a good consultant is conceptual thinking, your ability to get smart on a project and have a unique point of view. As much as that feedback was hard on me, I had to go back and understand more. After a conversation, I began to realize that business acumen is often tied to conceptual thinking. The more research you do on an industry, the more you talk to people who are expert in the industry, you're going to naturally develop a point of view and you're going to understand what people actually care about. I had to challenge myself to transition from a mindset of, oh, I should have known this like yesterday, to this is a learned skill set that will improve over time. So my first advice is, if you adjust your mindset from I have to do everything right to I'm going to learn and get coached over time, it'll naturally help you have a more curious and open mindset, adapt to feedback, and ultimately build a bunch of great relationships. If you're not used to traveling for work, your lifestyle is going to change quite a bit. I personally hate traveling for work. I'm very emotionally tied to things around me, like these skincare products or my hair serum. And this pillow. It's a special memory foam pillow that just knocks me out like a baby. So when I am on the road, it just kind of makes me feel like I'm constantly out of sync and it's a little bit stressful for me. But over time, I've learned a few tricks to make traveling less of a headache. One of the biggest game changers for me is having a designated toiletry bag. As a female consultant who cares about maintenance, I keep all my travel essentials in here. It's a nice size bag that can hold all my stuff and fits in my carry-on. I like how it's neatly packed here, nothing is falling out. So I pretty much have everything in here from toothbrush, toothpaste to makeup remover, my face cream and cleanser, sunscreen, everything I need is neatly packed here. But the key is to actually have two of everything. So one set at home and another set just permanently in this bag. So I don't have to pack and unpack. I just grab and go. It's a huge convenient factor for me. Traveling also messes with my social life. Most of the time I travel Monday morning, but occasionally I do travel Sunday evenings to get to client site. And if you're traveling on Sunday, you're kind of tied to home the couple hours before your flight. To make it work, I become super conscious about if I know that I'm traveling Sunday evening, I will have a pretty firm boundary that I need to either get off a little bit early on Friday or at least on time. So I get the extra hour back. Because of that reason, I also like to front load with social activities during my weekends and leaving that time on Sunday in case I have something. It's definitely not perfect, but it's these small adjustments that makes a difference in consulting life. I know a friend who literally has a meltdown on Sunday evenings because she has to travel the next day. It's important to know your own preference and do everything to prioritize your own well-being. Consulting can be kind of brutal on your health. Long hours, traveling, and stressful deadlines can both take a toll on your mind and body. When I first started, I thought I could just power through without worrying about my health, but that's actually really bad for you. There's one project I was working consistently 14-hour days, and by the end of it, I was exhausted, kind of breaking out, and felt like a zombie. And I repeated a couple cycles like that before making a decision that, hey, I'm no longer going to participate in that. Now I treat my health and wellness like non-negotiable meetings. I get it. Sometimes it's really hard to step away even for an hour and completely disconnected. So I started scheduling my fitness like bite-sized client meetings. So it would have maybe 30 minutes in the morning and then 30 minutes in the afternoon. Even a walk or a yoga session can be very helpful. When I was a senior, I worked with a manager who kept pushing himself on these projects, working late nights even though he wasn't feeling well. And by the end of the project, he really had to take some time off. I witnessed that happening the whole time. I made a commitment to myself that I wasn't going to do that because consulting will take as many hours as you give it. Eating healthy is another big one. When you're kind of constantly working, taking clients out, and also having happy hours, it's really easy to fall into unhealthy eating habits. This is actually very different for everyone. For me, meals are very emotional. I look forward to having a great dinner at the end of the day as a reward for my hard day. So I really kind of feel out the vibes for that day. Sometimes I have a healthier meal with more salads and greens, but other days I'll just go straight to Chick-fil-A if I really crave it. A non-negotiable that we should all have is a water bottle. I bring it with me all the time, whether I'm traveling on client site or working in the office. Honestly, when you're out of water, it's a good reminder to stand up, take a walk, and take a break. It's not about being perfect, it's about making these small, sustainable changes to keep you feeling your best. If you take care of yourself first, you're going to enjoy the process a lot more. In part two, we're going to talk about juicy topics like networking, managing up, setting boundaries. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it.